Yo, 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 yo. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Rob,
Yo,
Geo,
you know what time it is.
Real Talk, Real Views, coming in late. Like, we talking almost 2 in the morning. For some people, and for Joe, 3 in the morning.
Damn right. Just got off of work.
We have to put on a show for y'all. Talk about not giving a fuck. We got to make it happen. But, you know, sometimes people, we get tired. Like, hey, we doing it on the day that we always drop the episode, Wednesday. Let's get it, y'all, man. But, yeah, Joe, how was work, man?
Work was work. Like anybody else would say, work was work. But overall, it was all right, man. Getting back in the thick of things, working with the city, so a lot of precautiousness in Florida right now. So, you know, right now, at this point right now, if anybody knows, if you're in Florida, the COVID-19 virus has peaked up, and, you know, it's gone right back up. So more cautiousness, more safety precautiousness, doing a lot of tests in the Tallahassee area because it's peaked up in the Tallahassee area. So just being more safe and just being precautious, just watching out. That's all I could say, really.
Right, picked up over here. It picked up over here too. Apparently,
yeah,
I heard people that protested.
I heard that in the news. Yeah.
A lot of people that protested, they all got it.
Oh, dang.
Like, they all protest. A lot of people that protested. My homeboy works in ER, and he was telling me, "Yo, Rodman, everybody, that was a good chunk of people that were protesting. At first, it was just only 6 people that got it, and then we just had a full house. It was like it went from 6 to like 30 people in a matter of a day. I was like, shit, because I've been noticing the ER has been full every single day. I'm like, yo, what is going on? And those people, they went out there and they did a good deed. Everyone's like, yo, it's beautiful weather. Fuck this virus. They said that heat was supposed to annihilate the virus, but that was a lie. What else is a lie? Man, but that's another podcast for another day.
Wow.
They literally said that heat was supposed to annihilate the virus, but the heat did not do anything. So it's like, yo, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all saying. Don't be lying on the news. But like I said, another podcast for another day. Cause yeah, I'm a skeptic. I'm a guy who's skeptical. I'm one of those guys you can tell a story to, and I'll have both my hands together, kid. Like, nah, my arms crossed. Not believing you. Yeah, man. But Joe, today, man, we have a very impactful show. We gonna be talking about a whole bunch of different things, and I think this episode will be rather inspiring. It'll heighten some people's awareness. It will motivate people. I mean, this episode will definitely stretch some people, man. But what first topic me and Joe decided to talk about was the Juneteenth thing. I know this is weird. I am 28 years old, and I never knew of such a day. I've never known of such a day, Juneteenth, the only Black Independence Day that I was aware of was, you know, I'm Haitian, and we got our freedom in 1805. You know, first Black independence country. So I knew about ours, but I did not know the Black Americans, you know, had theirs in America. I had no idea. Joe, is it just me? I mean, did you always know about the Juneteenth thing? And if you did, can you tell me why a lot of Black people never talked about it or they didn't celebrate it?
I mean, I don't know. Well, let me first off by saying that the Juneteenth is obviously about when slavery, the Emancipation Proclamation ended, or slavery ended. If I'm right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably,
yeah, you're right.
Probably saying it wrong, but it ended. Slavery ended.
Proclamation.
Yeah, it ended in Texas. So that was the last state that still were doing slavery back then, and it ended in Texas, and then completely. Well, it ended all over, but then Texas was the last state for it to end. Then it ended. So yeah, so Texas was the last state to end it. But growing up, majority of the people that I grew up around were mixed, right? So you had your Haitians, you had your Spanish people, you had your Asian Americans, you had your Mexicans, you had Germany. You just had series of several different people come live, because we're in Miami, so it was just always different ethnicities, right, where we were from. So we never really got the full-fledged, African Americans in our areas, right? Like, if you go to the North Miami area, you are going to see Haitians and Spanish, whether they're Dominican, Cuban, Mexican, whichever nationality, is going to be Haitian, Spanish, and then Jamaicans. It's going to be mainly island folks, right? So, because if you could see off the coast, you got Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, Virgin Islands. You just have the whole Caribbean right there by Miami, and obviously when they're looking to make a better living for themselves, they go to Miami. They go to the U.S., right? Because it's right there. So for me, I never got to hear about it. I'll know about it, but I never knew it was like this holiday thing. Like I feel like they just made it a holiday. Right? Well, they just made it a paid holiday, right? I think that's what it was going to be.
I think they're still in the process. I'm not sure if they passed it, but I know it's in the process. It's in the works.
Yeah, it's in the works, but I never knew about it. So, like, growing up from elementary, middle school, high school, we were just around a whole bunch of international kids, and we were in different societies as far as like this. We weren't in different societies. It was just like just international kids growing up, right? So we never really had that Black African American person that would explain to us the things that would go on in just the everyday U.S. parts. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just didn't know about those things, right? So, I mean, and then when I graduated from high school, I went to a predominantly white school, PWI. So I went to there, and then you went to K-State. So, you know what I'm saying? You went all the way to the Midwest, where in Kansas, where it's mainly white folks. So, but then this falls back, like when I was talking to my brother about this earlier, this falls back on the educational system, because they literally teach us what they want us to hear, right? They want us to hear whatever history is, right? They're going to tell us, slavery ended at this time, but they're not going to tell us about Juneteenth. They're not going to tell us about that. They're not going to go and elaborate further. They're just going to tell us when did slavery end, or when did this end. They're not going to go into further detail. And this is where the HBCUs come into play, because when you go to HBCU, they speak about everything that's African American, and literally all the culture, all the different types of cultures, and getting into depth of all the cultures, because it's important to know where all these different things come from. It's not just from the great old USA. No, it's from Africa. It's from Asia. It's from Germany. It's from China. It's from these different nationalities that come in, and the U.S. takes apart and brings it to the U.S., and then they pretty much steal their identity and say they did it, right? Or they don't want to tell us that all they did was really bring it over, and then just swap out a few details and try to make it seem like they created it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it went for me. Like, we were just with a whole bunch of international kids. Had we went to like Central or Northwestern or Norland or, you know,
Right.
or the West.
We
You know what I'm saying?
might
Like
might have heard of it, Joe.
we might have heard of it there. We might have, but
Should have
you know, but then again, once again, it falls with the teachers, because the teachers either have to the teachers have a lesson plan to tell us what's going on, but they don't tell us everything. They tell us what we need to know in order to graduate. Like a lot of things that the way that the system of the schooling system is just taught, literally stuff that to be honest, not even made, that will not be used in our regular day lives or give us impactful information that'll further our knowledge and further our interest about these different things. You mean to tell me if somebody told me, hey, Juneteenth was when slavery ended, don't you think I want to know more information about that? Like, I don't understand.
Right.
Like, you talking about slavery just ended. The only thing I really remember was when I was in elementary, and Mr. Lascano, God bless his soul, rest in peace.
Oh, he was a good
was
man.
showing us videos about the cartoon version of Martin Luther King. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's as much things that I got from there. You know what I'm saying? I learned.
And Mr. Go ahead.
I learned more stuff. I learned more when I got to Leo about Juneteenth. I got to Leo is when I was in the Black Student Union. That's when I learned. That's when I knew about Juneteenth. Right. That's when I knew about it, but I didn't know a whole lot about it. I didn't go into depth about it. Like, we went and talked about it, but we didn't go into full detail. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. But I knew about it back then, but I mean, at St. Leo when I joined I joined Black Student Union. That's when I knew more about it. But when I was growing up, I did not know nothing about it. I didn't know it till I got to St. Leo. No, I didn't know about it till I got to St. Leo joining Black Student Union. Really? So that's when I knew about it. Yeah.
Well, so you've had an idea about it, Joe. You actually knew about it for a couple of years now, but it wasn't celebrated. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was not.
Why were black people not together, on that day? Maybe there was some people together, but they were so low key about it. You can't be low key about it, but you catch all of us celebrating July 4th like we won something that day. This is when I knew I had a problem, Joe. When people would ask me, what do you like so much about July 4th? Oh, just the fireworks. It's like I completely said fuck the significance of that day, but I didn't realize why I felt that way. I was like, I just care for the fireworks. But somebody who's a real American is like, no, you fucking idiot. We got free that day. It was when Thomas Jefferson wrote, all men are created equal, blah, 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 and wrote the Declaration of Independence, but that was just to benefit white people. There was nothing in there signifying all people of all races, of all genders. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that specific, But you're definitely right about that, Joe. Like, just being in North Miami, we would have never known. But the school systems are just really fucked up because they're only teaching you, like you said, what they want you to know, and what they want you to know is the lies, not the truth. It's fucking messed up.
What they want you to know is what they want you to hear.
Mm-hmm. And then that leads me to my next question: who is in control of that? And there are some teachers that went against the grain. Because Mr. Lascano, oh man, he has a special place in my heart. Because you talk about a movie, I don't even know where he got that cartoon version of what happened to Martin Luther King. But boy, did that video give me so much insight. I'm like, damn, he died like that. He died that.
I think everybody seen that cartoon version.
I don't know.
Seen that. Everybody, yeah, no, like everybody I spoke. Well, I don't know for you, but I know everybody I spoke to. Yeah, they got that, like, they got that cartoon version. They all seen that cartoon version.
Right. Right. And Malcolm X wasn't really talked about as much. It wasn't until I got older, like I want to say maybe in college or where I started, figuring out more and more about Malcolm X. I knew about him, but I knew more about Martin than I knew about Malcolm X. And Malcolm X is just as important. Malcolm X didn't take shit from nobody. It still breaks my heart that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King didn't really work together. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. They should have worked together. But anyway, just so we don't get off
they worked a little bit towards the end before they passed. They worked a little bit, but not fully together. But yeah, they did work a little bit though.
What Malcolm should have did, well, we don't know if he did or not, but should have picked up the phone and called King and said, hey, I can't trust the nation anymore. I think they're trying to kill me, and they're working with the CIA. Yo, let's work together. Let me be with you guys. I don't know if he made that call, but just the way he got shot and killed. Nah, it's just horrible. You think about all the leaders, significant leaders. You even have Dick Gregory. He's gone. Martin, he's gone. I mean, just so many gurus, man, who were in that march. They all gone. It's fucking crazy, man. But that system, like we said, is hella corrupted. Whoever is in charge of that, I want to know how it works. Who's the one who tells the teachers, like, well, I understand you give teachers a rubric, but within that rubric, let them teach within their style. They didn't go to school for you to just tell them what to do. There needs to be flexibility, as a teacher. There needs to be some kind of flexibility. Man, I give it to all those teachers in Gradney. They did their best. You know what I mean? Those teachers in Gradney, Mr. Lascano didn't even have to teach us anything about Martin. You realize Mr. Lascano only taught music? Like,
yeah,
how?
He really did.
He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. I wonder if he would have gotten in trouble. Had the principal walked in and said, hey, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be teaching them this shit. But once again, like, this man just had a big heart. Like, this was just back in the days, though, man. I don't know if teachers are like that. Maybe more teachers are, like, into the rules and shit. I don't know how many teachers are willing to sacrifice possibly losing their job to make a significant change that will impact generations now and generations to come. Who's trying to do that? A lot of people I see, Joe, are just scared to risk their jobs and shit. But real talk though, the Juneteenth thing, I realized, I was doing my homework about it. That is a day, where obviously slavery ended, and it ended in Galveston, Texas. You know what I'm saying? And when it first happened, it took about 10 years for some of the black people to realize, yo, we're not slaves anymore. That's how screwed up they were mentally. But after they figured it out, what that day was supposed to signify, was to represent, was gatherings, black people getting together, in a picnic. It was supposed to be a day of reflection. It was supposed to be a day of growth as a community. How do we better ourselves? What are we doing wrong? How can we move forward? How do we benefit this generation, the next generation, and generations after that? You know what I'm saying? How do we also, another thing that was so important to the community, Joe, on that day was to recognize education, to make sure that we celebrate being educated and being educated even better than we were the year before. So education, even in that era, in that time, was always a significance to the African-American community. And it's just so crazy when you think about it. You're like, if we followed what this holiday has been since the day that it was established, we should be way further as a community. Regardless if white people said, oh, we're not celebrating this, we're not putting this on the calendar, Joe, we're fuck this. It's not going to even be a national holiday. The only national holiday that you're going to be off on is on July 4th. You're going to celebrate our Independence Day. Fuck your Independence Day. It's not even, like, that's the shit that just gets me mad. Black people who knew about it, they should have just been promoting it to every other black person, and then we're like, yo, we need to do research on this day. Why does this day carry such a significance in my life and in every other black person's life? What is it about this day? Let's figure it out. Let's reflect, because as a whole community, we don't reflect enough. And then the time we do reflect is in times of catastrophes like what happened to George Floyd and all those other blacks who's gotten murdered. That's the only time we seem to want to we want to reflect when we should be reflecting every single day, like together. We need to be unified. We're so fucking divided, you know. It's and we need to just do a better job. We got to come together. We've got to come together. I honestly, Joe, and which brings me to my my next thing, because Juneteenth is so important, and right now, this and I'm going somewhere with this while I'm saying this. Now you got all these NBA players right now. They have a chance to really make a stance, and if they don't play the game of basketball, it'll show. If they don't play the remainder of the season, to me, I feel like, okay, now they putting their money where their mouth is. You know what I mean? A lot of people can say a lot of shit. Oh man, there's too many problems going on. You know, we can't play right now. You know, that's the way Dwight Howard and Kyrie feel. LeBron is like, nah, man, we need to play. But you got all the spikes right now in Florida. You know, with the cases of the coronavirus, there might be a chance that the players might catch that shit. You know what I mean? And now they're in a whole nother situation. What happens if you catch it? Your family ain't around, you're by yourself. You know, the NBA, I know they have stipulations and rules of, you know, you can't have a certain amount of family members, right, Joe? Like over there?
You're not gonna have any family members until you get to like the conference final.
Yep.
Family members out there to the conference final. But I mean, like, the thing about it is, this is a tough subject on whether to make them play or not, because by all means, yeah, everybody's bored, and yeah, you have basketball on, yeah, great, okay, woo-ha, let's get that out the way. We know basketball is, NBA is good, they got, and all that stuff, right? All right, making a stand, right? So we're for the NBA, it's trying to show some type of understanding of what it is that is going on in the world, right? And realizing that all African Americans at this point in time have so much power to maneuver pretty much anything they put their minds to, right? They could go into the legal system. They can go into the political parties. They could just make so many changes right now because of pretty much understanding, like, they know the position that they're in right now. Because what happened to George Floyd is a terrible thing, but people must understand that racism is here, right? People must understand that there are some white folks that just don't like blacks, and it's not because they were born that way; they were taught that way, right? So it's about getting educated, and it's about getting educated and realizing, like, hey, you need to realize that everyone is human, 100%. Everyone is human, regardless of whatever it is. The color of your skin doesn't define who you are. And the only reason why some people are white and some people are black, literally back in the day, due to the environment that they lived in, right? So if you're in a hot place, what you think that's gonna happen to your skin? You're gonna burn up. You're gonna get a little darker, right? Right. But if you're in a cold place, what's gonna happen to your skin? It ain't gonna be dark. It's gonna be light. It ain't gonna get as dark. I mean, it's just facts. But I mean, that's just facts in itself. But I feel like the NBA. But to get to the point, I feel like the NBA players should play, because I feel like, one, this affects their bottom line, right? This affects their bottom line, because if they don't play, then it affects their financial bargaining agreement for next year, and all the funding that they're giving, whether it's to schools, like LeBron has the I Promise program. Right, I know LeBron has tons and tons of money, but you don't understand how he delegates that bread. You don't know how it is to be a guy with so much power and say, yeah, you got that much money, but where is it really all going to? Like, how is he delegating it? You don't know if a certain part or a certain portion of whatever is going to this, right? He has an I promise program for schools for his high school. Jalen Rose has a school. And all these different NBA players could get their fundings, right? Get all their money, right? And make a better educational system for African Americans, right? They could go into there. They can go and hire top-notch teachers with higher pedigrees that are that they don't have. I mean, they could be black, but they don't have to be black. But I'm just saying they'll teach a wide variety of things, not just what is supposed to be in your school, right? Better the youth, help the youth gain more knowledge, right? Teach them about the business aspects of life, right? Get them into a different degree. These schools and these areas that are struggling, right? Take some of that financial money that you guys have and revamp that area. Change that area. Turn those poverty areas into a modern day area, into a beautiful area to where people want to invest more money into it, right? So this is where a lot of these people were talking about, these owners that have billions and billions of dollars, and they own these NBA teams. Revamp these areas, change these areas where these white folks, were not the white folks, but how everyone would call the better side or the white side of town, right? So let's go to the black side of town and let's fix the black side of town. Let's get them better books. Let's get them better computers. Let's get them better teachers, more knowledge for them to grow and understand. And I was looking at something earlier on Instagram, and it's about Kentucky and them voting. And in Kentucky, did you know that there's only one area in Kentucky? I forgot the name. I forgot the city name in Kentucky. But
Louisville?
No, not Louisville. It's it started with a C. I forgot what it was. But in that city, they only have one voting station. Did you know that?
Oh.
They only have one voting station. One voting station.
Fucking crazy.
So there's only one place for everyone in that specific town to go vote. Like, that don't make no sense. Fix up the polls. Fix up the places for people to vote. Make sure all the equipment are working in those struggling areas. Make everything balanced. Don't make everybody be like, man, I want to just live on the white side of town. No, it's not just the white side of town, right? That's that whole idea, the white side of town. What about the black side of town? We need to fix that place up. We need to fix it up. We need to treat it right. We need to revamp it. Make it look lively. Make it look not exactly, but similar to what the whites have on their side.
Right. Here's the one thing, Joe. Here's my one thing. You know, me just playing devil's advocate here. What if they do it, and then because not all the blacks are good, and they just fucking trash that shit, and then it ends up looking like the hood? Or do you actually think, honestly, that if we invest in our communities and it looks nice, do you think even the dumb people, the dumb blacks out there that be doing stupid shit, do you think they'll honestly, get their shit together? If they see that community is different now?
Let's just say this, all right. So with revamping areas, right, and changing the areas, when you do those things, it's going to cause a change, right? So when it causes that change, the people that are in that area will either learn to adapt or figure out that this is not where they want to live anymore. So some people will leave because they feel like as though they're trying to modernize where they are and change them and put them into a quote-unquote upscale white area, white neighborhood, right? But in reality, don't you want to live in a place where there is less problems for you to have to constantly call maintenance to fix lights, plumbing, and struggle, and just have a struggling environment where you look to see where you live, and you gotta constantly shake your head and wonder why the hell I live here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want that. You want to switch that up. There's some people, when they see that, they're gonna be like, listen, I live here. They fixed everything up. I need to maintain where I'm at, or I see better, so let me do better. Let me be better. Right? There's people that's gonna evolve with that. So whomever is in those areas are gonna lift themselves up, or they're going to just go down to wherever they try to go down to. Because you're right, there's going to be some folks that just, they won't like what's going on. They're going to feel as though they're, quote unquote, whitening up the place. And that's not whitening up the place. They're modernizing the place. They're making it equal. They're making it equal for everyone, right? Because if you think about it, we haven't had that. Black folks have not had that. Every single time you go to, when was the last time you ever heard, we're going to the black side of town and it looks great?
Oh man, no, never.
You never heard that. You never heard that. But when you hear when you hear the best part of town or the nice part of town, it gotta be the white side, the Caucasian side. Like, no. We needed to switch it up to where you're hearing the black side of town is the best side of town right now. It's the nicest side. It's the cleanest side. It's the well-established side. It's the modern side. You know what I'm saying? It's different, right? It's revamped. Right. There's energy there. There's livelihood. There's life there. But you don't hear that. So they need to switch that up and get that funding in those areas where there needs to be revamping and changing all those areas and making those areas better and investing into the education system. Like, they need to do that. They need to change a lot of these laws that are handicapping us. And I need to do more research on that to know exactly what laws exactly that is, because there are, like, for example, that lynching law, the fact that you lynch and it's not a criminal crime, and it's not a criminal crime, like
right.
You pretty much,
come on.
Yeah, we're 20. Are you serious? Like, yeah, that's crazy. Like, no, like, change that. Get that. People out here getting lynched. Come on now, no. Change that. We're 2020 and people getting lynched. Come on now, like, no, you got to change that.
And we thought that shit was over. This shit's fucking crazy. We got that. You got laws where, you know, if a black man steals a car, you know, does attempted robbery, and a white man does the same crime, tell me how, for some reason, the white man gets less time and the black man gets the full time. Like, a white man kills somebody, and a black man kills somebody, they both do the same crime, the black man gets more time and the white man doesn't even get remotely close to the time the black man gets at all. And and there's so many situations like that. There goes those laws right there. The education system, like you and I just said, that's another one right there. Like, if these NBA players decide to play, Joe, how about, you know, like how you said a couple shows back, during halftime, they put a couple solutions on the table, like, hey, we need to change this law right here, and they say it and they speak it. Now the fans will know, hey, these guys are thinking about us. You know, they're thinking about what's really going on in the world, and they're not thinking about just playing just for money, because right now there's catastrophes happening everywhere. You know what I mean? A lot of people lost their lives this year. Oh my God, a lot of people lost their lives this year. So yeah, man, like they need to do that. It's so funny, man. You get 20 of these players. These players are all in a players coalition. If they all put their money together, they could do a lot of shit. Like, it's just how much here's the problem though. Whenever a lot of men get together, well, you know, I would just say mainly the black men, because this is just an issue we have in that community. Oh, we'll play basketball together, we'll play football together, we'll play 2K together. Heck, we'll fuck some girls together. Whenever it comes to putting our money together, all of a sudden it's just a little hard. It's just, I don't know, man. Oh man, all of us, whenever it comes to money, that's always the case, man. But we need to put our money together. They put their money together, Joe, what you just said? Oh, hell yeah. They can literally go from city to city, fix this area, fix this area, fix this area, you know, go to this school. Cause I was mad. I never seen none of the players come to North Miami. I never seen any of them came to the fucking high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, y'all give it. I ain't never see y'all in my high school. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, Joe, like, them players, they need to rally around each other. They need to go give here, give there, and not only just give, but they need to make sure when they put their money in these areas that it's actually flourishing, that it's actually being put to use, and these fucking schools are not fucking scrounging around with the fucking money. They're actually putting it to use. They're actually buying the new technology. They're buying the new equipment, the new books, the new software, the latest software. They're putting these students in a position to fucking succeed. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah, like you're right, man. They just need to all work. They need to all work together. But yeah, if they're going to play, Joe, they need to let us know that here's their solutions and here's what they're putting on the table. Here's what the world needs to change.
Yeah, because like even though a lot of people say, man, they should not play, they shouldn't do that, but if they really think about what's going on, like not playing and not playing, it doesn't matter, right? But you gotta have a plan. That's the whole thing, and that's what Stephen A. be talking about, and that's what Matt Barnes be saying. And I know Steven Jackson was opposed to it. They're like, they just need to not play at all. But no, that's not what you do. You could play, you could not play, and then just sit at home. What is that gonna do? All it is you're just telling everybody, okay, the police brutality, we're not playing because people need to understand how important this is. All right, it's important. We get it. You're not playing. But what form of action and plan are you doing?
Right.
Right? What's the plan? You sit out. All right, what's the plan? Because now you're sitting out and you're losing money.
Right.
Okay, so we're not really progressing. We're at a standstill. No, that's not it. So you play, right? So you play. So whatever is left from whatever NBA player or whatever they want to do, they could say, okay, the last amount of whatever's left of my salary, I'm taking it and I'm throwing it into these in these areas, or this area, or this department, or this part of the black movement, or this judicial system. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they take that final proceeds of their check and put it into something, right? And they could change it, and then every part of the games or whatever the case may be, they could talk about how are they planning on what are they doing to help African Americans, and what exactly are they trying to do. And as far as like the presidents and the owners of these teams, they also need to chime in and chip in as far as whether it's going to be a financial gain, right? Where it's going to help better the city that they're in, and find out all these different these places that are just not that are not making that financial, that are not at that part right there, right? That's not, you know, getting where they need to get to, and put money into those areas and to lift them up, right? Revamp them. Give them a new meaning of life, right? And spread that wealth. Like, that's what it's about right now. That's what it's about. It's about getting black folks to equal rights in all aspects.
Right. And another thing, Joe, like maybe even during the halftime, or maybe part of their plan should be, let's put some Juneteenth community centers in different states, cities. That's what I just literally thought of. I'm like, yo, because so a young kid can literally see who these brave men and women were, you know, show us a picture of them, show us like what were their lives like after the fact, like 2 years after, a year after, what did they open, show us the establishment, show us what were some of their conversations about, you know, just like a community center for Juneteenth. I would call it the Juneteenth Community Center. where a black person can literally walk inside a community center and he or she will realize the significance that they have in their life, the purpose that they have in their life, because of, after obviously slavery being abolished and stuff, the opportunity that they have that their ancestors didn't have for centuries. You know what I mean? Like, I know that would help me out. We all go to community centers. We all do. Some of them don't have anything of significance. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Let's put history to one. Let's attach history to one. More importantly, it's our history. So if the school systems are still on some bullshit, we're going to take personal accountability for ourselves, and we're going to make sure our community is like is like what they say out here, woke.
No,
you gotta know. You gotta know for real. You gotta know what the hell is going on, kid. You just have to, and that's just me just centering the things back around about what we were saying for the whole for Juneteenth. Maybe we should even talk about how can we celebrate it worldwide. White people have their little fireworks. What can we have for Juneteenth? Should we have our own fireworks show, or should we have something else? What can we do to differentiate ourselves from July 4th? What can we do on Juneteenth? Not just be it's just another off day. We get paid to not go to work, but what do we do to continue the legacy, the tradition? What do we do as a community? Like that's why I was saying the community centers could be definitely a start. You can have gatherings over there all across the world. You know what I'm saying? And then we have leaders just all go. They all meet from they all meet together at one specific spot and discuss what they have spoken to the community about, the black community in this state and that state.
And what's the next step? What's the next step for the coming years? Or the following years? Exactly. I think that would be ideal. That would be a good idea to do. Come up with something like that. To have a meeting with all the top leaders and to discuss that, and to discuss like, okay, we see where we're at right now, but where we're trying to reach in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? Where are we trying to go? What are we trying to see? What are we trying to do? And go from there and help the community and be better to the black folks and be better to society and progress. Right? That's the main thing. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to progress.
Talk about okay, what's our unemployment rate? What's it been the past 5 years, and what should it be the next 5 years? Okay, what's going on with mental health in our community? How are our brothers and sisters are doing? We've had a lot of suicides this year in the black teenage community. With the males and the females. What's going on there? How can we fix these issues? Why are they doing it? What's the source? I mean, there is so much. Like sometimes you just like, man, put me in front, man. Let me go meet with these people who are in the that have the money, the leverage, and the connection. And goddamn it, I'll tell those people my damn self. It doesn't take a rocket science kid to figure these things out. Look at all these solutions we just threw on the table, and you got all these guys that'll be on TV who are probably much more intelligent than us, a.k.a. Stephen A. Smith, who may say what's their plan, but they don't insinuate a plan in that same breath. Like, here's what I would do personally, because I agree with what my man is saying, but the thing is, he never insinuated a plan. He never conveyed a plan. He just ridiculed the fact that, you don't have to play, but if you don't play and you don't have a plan, it's just useless. I would at least give an example so I could help help the player who doesn't want to play to allow his wheels to spin so he can come up with a plan. Because, I don't know, man, some people just can't think on their feet that fast. Creativity is something that you have to grow, within yourself if you don't have it. Some people have it like me. Like, I'm just natural at it. You know what I mean? Just think of solutions. let's sit down, shut the fuck up, and think, and come up with some solutions, kid. So yeah, man. We need to make that day special, Joe. Like, what would you want it to be, Joe? Like, 'cause July 4th is fireworks, yeah, blah blah blah. What would Juneteenth? What would you do on that day to make it different from July 4th? What you have an idea, you know, on how you would want it to be?
I mean, everybody got fireworks. I mean, fireworks are essential in July 4th. Like, that's what they do. But as far as, like, black folks, everybody knows what black folks love. It's called a cookout. Let's get the biggest cookout you've ever seen in your life. Biggest cookout.
Yeah.
Food and all that stuff, just dancing, music, good vibes, just great vibes. Nothing crazy, no belligerentness, just chilling, vibing, relaxed, good music, and just giving and having like somewhat of an award, almost like an award show, but not really an award show. But
there you go.
For someone that has shown black excellence for the past for a couple of these past months, or this year, or this coming, or the previous years, and showing a lifetime achievement award for black excellence in such and such areas. You know what I'm saying? Just things like that.
Right. And giving back to the community, who's giving back the most to the community, things like that. And innovation and you know, and just people that are upcoming and on the uprise, and you know, outstandingness and upcoming excellence, you know, stuff like that. Like, you know, just newcomers, something like that. But that's crazy.
Definitely a cookout. Yeah, definitely a cookout. I think like the biggest cookout you'll ever see in your life, right? With national media coverage and things like that, and just talking about ways to improve and ways to reach out to the ways to improve, and also reach out and looking further to the African American community to see what we can do to progress.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Let's even have like fucking internships. Let's have people that are killing it in the media business. Let's have people that are killing it in the music business, the entertainment business, the economic business, whether it's the stock market, real estate business, like so many different so many different ways where they can impact the economy in a good way, and impact the lives of people in a good way. Let's have these people who are winning meet the people that want to win too, and allow them to I guess provide opportunities for those who want to be in that same position, and let's see what happens, or offer to be a mentor, because we all know how hard it is to be a mentor. Like to find a mentor. They cost a lot of money. So yeah, look at all of these ideas we literally put, and that's just only two of us talking. Imagine if you have over 100 guys talking. Man, are you serious? Are you serious, man? Yeah, dog. So this day, I'm so happy I learned about Juneteenth, because since I've learned about this, I'm not really celebrating July 4th. I'm not. I don't give a fuck about it. You know, now I don't care. I personally made a decision. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna give a fuck anymore. It's never been important. You think about it, it's the same fireworks too. The same kind of thing. It's like 12 different kind of booms. Boom, 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 boom. It's the end of every fireworks show. It's for 20 minutes. And it takes 6 hours just for you to watch a 20-minute show.
Well, literally what you're talking about right now is Kansas and the fireworks show that's in Kansas. But for me, in Miami, it's not like that. There's several places, and there's even people that have their own fireworks thing, and that goes on and things of that nature. So,
yeah.
Yeah, man. So, this was a great topic. It was a great thing. So, yeah. So. I think this is a good thing, man. But
oh yeah, man, definitely, man. It was a good one.
Yeah, but I don't know. But yeah, so we're gonna go into the segment of mine, behind the curtain. So behind the curtain is a segment of the podcast where I bring in some new intel, some new information, or just or a story that I want to bring to you guys to let you know, either to get to know me a little bit better, to get to know the person better, or just to ask a series of questions that you guys may want to know about the person that's coming onto the show. So in this segment, it's a story, a personal story. So my brother has a story that he wants to share with you guys. Actually, two, if I'm not mistaken. He has two stories. One, two, two, one. Yeah, he has two stories that he wants to share. So go ahead, share the story.
Yeah, man. So my first story is yesterday while I was at work, a guy named Daryl, I call him the OG. He's like my mom's age, like 65, yeah. 65. And, he always gives me wisdom every time we talk. And this debate that we were having was about the God and Jesus. I was like, so, I told Daryl, I was like, yo, I believe, first of all, I asked him, I was like, you believe everything in the Bible? And he was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I do. I was like, you sure, man? I was like, yo, it's missing a whole chunk of history, man. It doesn't talk about when we were communicating through drawings. It doesn't talk about anything that, I don't know, I just feel like it's just skipping a big chunk of history. But anyway, he was like, nah, man, you gotta believe that shit. You gotta believe it. And so then our debate was like, yo, I believe in God, but I'm a little suspect about this little Jesus character. And he was laughing. He was like, no, Bobby. God and Jesus are two of the same thing. And I was like, what do you mean? They're two of the same thing. I was like, if I was a God, why would I need a right-hand man? If I was the one who created the world. He was like, no, Robin, they're both the same. And then he proceeded by telling me a story about when he got shot. And he told me, Robin, like, when I got shot, I saw God, and he told me that it was not the time for me to die. He told me, go back. You're not done with your time on earth. Now wake up. And he woke up, and he was living a life of crime and shit. And and he said, Robin, because I told him a personal story. I told him about how I've been away from Florida for like 10 years, and I miss my family, obviously. And I was talking about how my dad has gone through quite a bit in the 10 years I've been gone, from us getting robbed, at the house. But my dad wasn't there. But just somebody breaking in, stealing shit. Then my dad getting into an accident, flying out of his car and falling into someone's backyard, breaking his neck. And then my dad having a stroke. And basically where I was going was, I was telling Daryl, I was like, yo, I gotta go back. If I don't go back, like, these are all signs to me that other guy was talking to me like, yo, Robin, you have to go back. You can't be selfish. You have to go back. This is not no joke. And so he was like, Robin, he looked at me right in the eye, Joe, and he said, Robin, you need to ask your Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father. That's like, huh? What do you mean? I thought you asked God whenever you needed something done. He's like, no. You ask your Heavenly Father. I was like, okay, this is new. Heavenly Father? Oh, Heavenly Father, okay. So Heavenly Father carries more weight than just God. You know me. I'm open-minded. I listen. I receive messages. I was like, okay. Okay, my man said Heavenly Father. So he said, Robin, your words carry weight. Your words are powerful. He's like, all you need to do, if you want to go back to Florida You want everything to be aligned. You fucking take a walk and you say, Heavenly Father, he's like, I need to go back home. I need to spend time with my father. I need to spend time with my family. I feel like the next phone call I'll get is that my father will be gone. And I don't want to have that guilty conscience that I never tried to be with my dad. And so he said, you need to tell him that, listen, Heavenly Father, make a way for me, provide the protection, provide the blessing for me to go back home, and everything will be in order to protect me to win in that environment. And he said, and you are the Heavenly Father, and I know you hear everything that I say, and you are known for blessing people. So if you deny me, I will deny you. You tell him just like that, Robin. And I was like in shock, that he said that, and I was like, okay, this doesn't just happen to somebody. So I said, you know what? Let me go downstairs. I told him I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna do it. And I was walking in my equipment room and I was talking to him. I was like, Heavenly Father, I know we could have probably talked in better circumstances, and I was like, listen, man, I need to go back to Florida. I've been missing out a lot, and with my family and my dad, especially what's been happening to my dad medically wise, and next thing I know, Joe, I'm just fucking tearing up. I don't know where the emotions came from, and I'm like, yo, I need to be back home. I need to spend the time with my family, God. Heavenly Father, I need to. And I want us to get there, and I want everything to be in order when we get there, and that you align us with the right people, and you align our lives to be special.
Yeah.
And kid, I did, and it was special, Joe. I even had my fist balled up, and I was just tearing up. I'm like, yo, this is all the emotions, because I'm not one of those easy guys to just cry. It takes me to cry.
I know that. Witnessed it all my life.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's hard. I was a crybaby when I was a kid, but it's like after I let all those tears out when I was a kid, it's just like it turned my heart into stone. I swear, because I did all that crying when I was a child. It got older, and now I'm, it takes a lot to make me cry. And so I wanted to, right. So I wanted to share that story with everybody, so they know, man, that God be using people, man, to say messages to you. You know what he told me, Joe, after he said that message? He was like, Robin, I could probably die tomorrow, or I could die today, but I felt like I had to tell you that message before my time in the earth was over, and that's when that was special as fuck to me.
It's crazy though. Mommy, Poppy, and all of them, they've been asking, when the hell you coming? And it's been for the whole 9, like every 10 seconds. When is he coming? When is he coming? Is he coming? And they kind of like gave up. And then like, if he's gonna come, he's gonna come.
Yep, exactly. That breaks your heart, And so, Joe, somebody's listening to this right now, and they're probably in the same position as me, where they're like, they want to go back home, and they're struggling financially, and they don't want to go back home, and they're just losing, and their lives are not necessarily where they wanted to be, and they want to have some shit in order before they do go back, so they can obviously spend a good time with their parents, or if something happens, they can support them. You know what I mean? So, I'm telling you right now that this pandemic made me realize it heavily, and I'm not gonna rest until it happens. It's going to fucking happen. I'm already, like, I remember, just to give everybody an update, I remember telling everyone that I was gonna start day trading, and I have. And so far, I've made, I want to say, slightly above over $100 already trading. I'm already understanding it. I'm doing it part time. I'm doing it with Nadex Forex trading. To start, you need about $250, so you can get your account up and running, and then from that point you can trade. And then after putting in the $250, if let's say you lose the whole 250, you would have to put $100 back in just to continue. So it's worth it. It's worth it. I'm like self-teaching myself how to do it, and it's working, man. It feels good to know that you can literally make your hourly pay in less than 5 minutes. It's crazy, kid. It's unbelievable. And my I'm trying to think of my second story right now, Joe. My goodness, fuck. I'm trying to think of my second story.
Is that the second story?
Yeah, man. I was so into that first story, I forgot what my second story was. Oh man, it'll come to me. But I think you told me that you had something that you were gonna say. Did you have a story?
No, I didn't have a story. My story. When you said you had the story, I kind of just like forgot about my story, so left it at that.
Right.
But,
okay.
Yeah. We can always just leave it for the next segment, next episode.
Right. So that was a good story. That was me sharing a part of me to y'all, everybody that listens to us. We really appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And one day we will be able to meet you guys face to face, shake your hands, and look you in the eye, and tell you thank you, and tell you we appreciate you, and tell you that you make us better. And so, yeah, man, me and Joe are happy that you guys came to listen to us in this late night, early morning, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Thank you for rocking with us, man. Joe, looking forward to next week. Another episode of Real Talk Reviews is in the books. Y'all all be easy. Y'all all be blessed. And we will holler at y'all next week. All right, Joe. Take it easy, man. Go get yourself some Z's, dog.
Yeah, not to.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Yep.